Hi friends, Diana here from Garden Love. I am so excited to be making this video because I'm finally going to be planting my passion fruit. I've been wanting to grow passion fruit since I moved into this property. My last property had an amazing vine growing on the side of my yard. And since then, I've tried growing it multiple times and I haven't succeeded because it just hasn't worked out, either because I haven't been able to maintain it or because the climate hasn't allowed it. But doesn't matter. I've learned so much from all those experiences, and I'm gonna share this with you guys so you guys can succeed if you guys are planning on growing a passion fruit. So let's get into it. Come on. Before I start planting, I want to point out that passion fruits grow in zone 9 and up. They're very delicate when it comes to the frost. So for that reason, this is the section that I chose for it to grow. They love full sun. That's the only thing that it's not going to get full sun. It will get some sun, but not full sun throughout the day. Don't worry, if you're in a similar situation, you will still be able to grow it. I know because I've already tested it and I've succeeded. Let's not get into the reason why it died. Okay, I already spoke about it too much in my previous video. Okay, fine, I'll tell you. I didn't water it. I didn't take care of it. I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. I didn't have an irrigation. I didn't have a system that would just self-water. During the summer, they drink a lot. Obviously, it's going to vine ginormous. They grow from 15 to 20 feet. So they're going to vine. They're going to need that water in order to sustain all of the leaves. And the reason why I chose this area in my new little garden that we are creating here, because I don't know if you can see, there are 3 big pine trees here. And you know, pine trees, they hold their foliage year round, which means that that's going to act as an umbrella for the frost. They're not going to get frost fall on it, okay? And it's gonna help support this little vine to grow to its full potential. Anything that grows outside of these 3 pine trees and it won't have protection, it's okay if it dies down in the winter. That just means that it's going to die down, focus on what's still left, and next season it's gonna come back with a vengeance and it's gonna grow and it's gonna produce so many fruits, and I can't wait for that. So yes, I'm gonna show you guys what the umbrellas look like. Let's see if you guys can see. You guys see those umbrellas? Those are the trees that are going to protect my passion fruit. And obviously it is shading it, but it's okay. It'll still get enough sun in order for them to thrive and grow. Like I said, I've had a passion fruit here before. Let me flip you guys around so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Try to add clips of my passion fruit. It was growing in a wine barrel, which happens to be over there. And wine barrels, I've come to the realization, is that they dry out so fast. So you need to water. If you want something that doesn't like water and it prefers just a little bit of water, like maybe a jujube tree, you can grow it in a wine barrel. But if you are going to plant something that loves water, the wine barrels dry up way too fast and you need to water way too often. Okay, I had it here. And here is proof that the passion fruit was growing. You can see that the vine, I mean, come on, look at this. The vine was going all the way over there. I had a bad year. I wasn't out in the garden much. And yeah, it died. It's okay. I learned from it. Now we're going to plant another one. I purchased this one because my previous one was actually a cutting that I propagated from my previous garden. I still keep in contact with the people who purchased our other home, and she often gives me cuttings, but I've been terrible about it. Actually, let me show you guys. I have one little cutting that survived from my previous passion fruit. She gave me this a couple months ago, and hopefully I can find another place for this little passion fruit. It's been in the greenhouse with the bag over it, like a little dome, with water. Always water, because it wants to keep the soil moist in order for the roots to grow and thrive. And yes, this is my little greenhouse, but that's not what this video is about. So let's continue. So it was thriving. It did grow. What's done is done. This raised bed, there's cardboard under it. At some point it's going to break down. These roots are going to be able to go deep down into the earth, and it's going to have plenty of sources of water, because as we all know, down below the earth there's some moisture, and now that I have a raised bed over it, the water that I do for my plants that I'm about to plant in a separate video is going to seep into the earth where the roots from this passion fruit is going to have access to. I'll do a separate video on this little raised bed because I do want to talk about what I'm putting in this garden, why I'm choosing to put it in this in this side when I have plenty of space in my hillside, especially because it's shaded, especially because it's a small space, but that's another video. Let's go ahead and get this planted, and I want to show you what I'm adding to the hole where this passion fruit is going in. This is where we're going to put the passion fruit, in the corner of the raised bed. And you might be wondering why there is a trash bag here, a recycle grocery bag. That is because I actually let my passion fruit sit inside this bag. I watered it and I let it sit in water so it can get well hydrated, because when you transplant anything, any tree, or in this case my passion fruit, it's gonna get dehydrated. It's gonna have it's gonna need a time to transition between its little pot to its new soil and be able to drink. So to prevent that much of shock, you're going to want to water it very well 24 hours before you plant it. I love using SureStar, as you can see right here, and this helps the roots get established. It helps prevent shock. And my other favorite product that I love to use is worm castings, just because we want to ensure that some worms are going to start growing here. They're going to irrigate the soil, and that's going to allow the roots to have access to easy growth and succeed. All right, so now that we got that out of the way, basically I wanted to get that out of the way so I don't spend too much time in this position. You guys, this soil was just recently added, so the soil is completely workable. As you can see here, so easy to work with. I don't need to be putting that much strength into it. As you know, anything you are taking out of a pot, you're gonna want to squeeze it so that way the roots can loosen up, and it comes out just like that. This is a baby plant, so it's not root bound. I'm not going to tease the roots that much because I think they are perfectly fine, and I'm going to put it in here just like that. And then, oh, before I forget, we're going to put some worm castings. Just so you know, if you're considering putting something for a privacy wall, this passion fruit is actually one of the ones I recommend, because if you want privacy, this passion fruit is going to give you that. Okay. This is my SureStar. I actually put it in this container just because I purchased a big bag a while back, but I just wanted to show you guys what it looked like with the bag. I do want to add that this plant is self-pollinating, so you do not have to worry about getting another one so they can cross-pollinate. That is something that is awesome about this amazing passion fruit. It is loaded with vitamin C. The flowers are from out of this world. Honestly, when I first saw it, I thought they were like alien flowers because they're so unique and so beautiful. I'm just going to use my shoe here to kind of step down on it so the roots can get compacted. I'm going to give it deep watering to ensure that the roots get full contact and there's no bubbles. Air bubbles, I should say. Yep. That seems really good. Back to what I was saying. Another fun fact about this amazing passion fruit, that bumblebees, butterflies love this passion fruit. They love the flower. Look at that. You see? They're ready to get attached. You're going to want to have a sturdy fence because it could get pretty heavy. Oh, look, it's attaching to my bracelet. Another fun fact about this little passion fruit that I think you might like, or maybe it'll convince you to put it into your garden, is that this passion fruit actually grows within a year or two. You'll be having fruit. You don't have to wait a very long time for you to be harvesting from it, which is one thing that I loved about it when I first had it. Within a year, I was having tons of fruit. And you know what? Let me point something out. I already made a mistake. The mistake is that when you plant something, you're gonna want to give it the less, plant it in a way that it's not resisting. Like for example, see how this vine is going this way? Naturally, it's gonna want to go to a fence facing this way. The fence obviously is not on this side, it's on this side. But not to worry, if you notice this, when you plant it, all you need to do is, rotate it. It's not gonna have a lot of shock because you literally just planted it, and no worries. Rotate the plant. It's not gonna have any damage. It's gonna feel the same shocked as if like you just planted it. So let me go a little deeper. There we go. There you go. Now I'm going to be able to attach the little vines to my fence, and it's gonna have a prettier view. And if you break a vine by accident, don't worry. You're actually doing the plant a favor, because it's going to go into just a little bit of a shock, and you will help it because now there's less for it to sustain. Yay. I'm gonna remove all of these old vines. And then, as you can see, I already had a few things here. I already had a few things to attach the vine to. I'm gonna use it so it's easier for it to vine. Look at that. If I were you, I would remove this, because that's gonna allow the plant to know that you are not growing on this stick. You are growing on this fence, little girl. And I will get one of these, if you guys can see. There we go. And just attach this whole entire thing to this fence. So whatever is growing above this, it would just start to attach itself. Oh my God, guys, I'm so excited. Do you guys even understand? I've been wanting to have this moment for such a long time. Let me look at you guys while I talk to you. I literally saw my cat carrying a mice or a mouse, and I tried to go find him, but he was gone. I don't know, I guess he went to put him in his secret stash, and he no longer has one. But thank you for that. Thank you. Because that was actually one of the problems I was having. The mice were eating my vegetables, and that's why I'm gonna implement this year some sort of growing. I'm gonna be very intentional of how I grow certain things and where I grow them, keeping that in mind. Back to my passion fruit. Recap, friends, recap. You want to make sure that you give it a lot of water the day before you're going to plant it, so it's well hydrated. You want to make sure that you actually water the soil that you are going to plant it. I didn't say that earlier, but that's very important, because the soil that you are putting it in, you want it to be moist and ready to have something grow on it. You want to add Sure Start to help the plant get its roots established and grow and spread. You're going to want to add some worm casting, just because why not? They're so good for the plants, and for hopefully there's some eggs in there and worms will start to grow and irrigate the soil. You're going to want to make sure that you face your plant in the direction that it's going to grow. You guys saw that I made that mistake, but I fixed it. And it's okay, don't worry. The tree's not gonna die if you make mistakes and you have to fix them. Even if it would have been a day later, I would have still done the change and I still would have fixed my error. So don't be afraid. I'm gonna give it very deep watering because I wanna make sure that all of the roots that are there are gonna have full contact with the water. And you know, I mean, for example, if you water a bag, it's gonna attach to you if it's wet versus when it's dry, it won't. That's the same thing with the soil. I hope that that little metaphor gives you an idea of what I'm talking about and points out how important watering is. Obviously, I learned from my mistake that I need to water. Passion fruits love water, especially in the heat. So make sure that when you plant that you already set up an irrigation system so you have water going to that plant. I ordered my irrigation system for this section. It hasn't arrived. I'm gonna do a separate video on that because I do want to go into depth on different ways to water your plants. And one of them is if you don't have a spigot near where you're growing stuff, if you don't have a hose that can reach that area, or just we'll get into it. But for now, I'm so excited. Please follow along so you guys can see how amazing this passion fruit is going to be growing and thriving. You guys know that this means the world to me, that I finally am able to put this passion fruit. My husband helped me build the raised bed. Now I have space to grow other things here. And we'll talk about what I'm growing in this raised bed in a different video. But I hope this video was informative. I hope that this encourages you to grow passion fruit. If you have any questions, something that I failed to mention in this video, please leave it in the comments down below. If you're new, welcome. I hope to see you in the next video. And I want to leave you guys off with this one tip. Your passion fruit, you do not need to prune for the first year, maybe by the second year, depending on how fast it's growing, because they are invasive. They do grow super, super fast. You're not going to have passion fruit pop out in different places, so they're not invasive in that way. They're invasive, meaning that the vines are going to grow and cover your fence. They are going to produce fruit for you. Is that kind of invasive. So don't worry about this, like the mint growing in different parts of your garden. Oh my God, if that was the case, I would love that, because as you guys know, I would love to have a couple of these. But for now, I think this is the safest place to grow the passion fruit due to the shelter that this little microclimate is giving it. And stay tuned for future updates on this passion fruit. So once you get to the third year, that's when you're gonna wanna cut back, so that way every year it can grow better and you're not having the fruit growing down below, because you will grow some vines from the original vine. So you're gonna wanna cut some of them back, but we'll do that in another video when we get to that point. So follow and stay tuned. I hope you guys have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. One last thing I forgot to mention, just like any other tree or any plant, you're going to want to put a mulch on top of the soil. I'm not ready to do that because I'm going to be planting other things here, but I wanted to make sure that I added this tip so you guys have a complete guide on how to grow a passion fruit, and you don't forget to do that. Have a blessed day. Bye.